So hello everyone, welcome, good morning, happy Friday morning. We're so excited to have you here for our first coffee and conversation. And we have two people who will be leading our conversation today. We have Mary Jane Riccardi, who is our learning special. She's a learning specialist at ICW, and she is our San Diego ATD president. And we have Lauren Abrahamson, who is a chapter relations manager for the Western area. And our topic for today is talking about what is the value of membership? What are your industry, educational, and networking opportunities available to you through a chapter membership and a national membership? So I hope everyone is ready to have a great discussion and has lots of questions around it. And I leave it to you, ladies. So
yeah.
Lauren, start us off?
Yeah, thanks so much. So I figure we could kind of start this conversation with me showing you some of those benefits that ATD offers. And, you know, we love our chapters and our chapter volunteers. You guys do so much for the talent development community. And for that, we're so thankful. But I think, you know, as important as those chapters are, you guys are a part of a much bigger, you know, community and organization. And I think, you know, ITD is just really happy to give that to you guys. So I'm going to go through some of those benefits and how to utilize those. Cause I think sometimes, you know, you go to our website and you're like, there's so much here. It's a little overwhelming. So hopefully this can kind of ease some of those anxieties. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And if you guys have any questions during this, just let me know. I can be kind of talkative, so you know, tell me to stop and I will. So just starting on the ATD website, I'm logged in and I have the Professional Plus membership. If you go down, it starts off with different things that you can utilize, right? We have a lot of articles going up all the time about very current things going on in talent development. And obviously right now, it's a lot of virtual programming, working within coaching within virtual platforms, which is great. But if you go down, you'll see obviously the courses that we offer, which are discounted for members. They are all virtual right now, so we've shifted that to accommodate everyone. But then you'll land onto your member benefits, and you'll see, you know, the benefits that you receive. And I like this just because it tells you what you have left, right? So you, on top of the state of the industry report that you get, you also get one free research report, which clearly I've used. And so this is just like a nice, easy way to know what you've used, what you still have. And then they also kind of curate things for you based on maybe what you've said you're interested in. So that's also a nice plus, is, you know, sometimes you don't have to go looking for it, it finds you. And then switching over to the membership center, which I think is kind of that bread and butter, it shows you everything, right? So you have, again, everything that you still have available, the ebooks, the TD at work, and the member adaptive learning library, which is 10 learning courses that you get to choose one, and every year it'll update. There'll be new courses available. And then let me show you more of the member center. I just want to pause. Does anyone have any quick questions? Okay, great.
Sorry, I actually had a quick question.
Yeah, sure.
So for those courses, and this may be a dumb question because I haven't looked too much into it, but are they accredited or are they just recognized through ATD, or how does that work?
Yeah, these aren't credited, but we do offer credited courses. These are just really adaptive learning courses. So, you know, assembling a management team is one of them. Just kind of little things that you can implement from these courses.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that was a great question. Thanks, Joseph.
Mm-hmm.
Lauren, I have a question. When you said that they change yearly, so is it changes yearly in terms of the course that's available, or is there still like Is it just one course that's available a year, or is it a
Yeah.
couple to choose from? Oh, okay.
So one course a year, you know, you can do more, but you get the one free course with your membership. And then every year, new ones will come in and they'll cycle out some of those old ones. So
Oh,
you're always getting fresh stuff every, you know, cycle every year.
okay.
Yeah. And so going down, this is kind of, I think, the area that people don't always look at, right? So the 10-minute case studies that are available, and then they also break up a lot by industry, right? Because there's a lot going on, including, you know, they have one for CTDOs, they have the healthcare and management and learning technology. So I think our content directors really try to segment things out to make it easier to find what you're looking for. And then a few other.
I have a quick question, Lauren. Are
Sure.
those organized by the capability model?
No, so these are more
Okay.
organized by industry.
Industry, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and then if you go down to your core member benefits, some things that I think people underutilize are these job aids and tools. And I'll show you a little bit later about, you know, what they're about, how to use them. You know, instead of reinventing the wheel, you can tap into these and apply them to, you know, the work that you're actually doing. As well as you get access to all the conference session recordings, which I think is really helpful because we've had some really great speakers in the past. And let's see, the other one I want to point out is the EB SEO online library. So with the membership, you get access to that full online library with, you know, different journals and white papers. So that's another resource I think is really underutilized right now. And then I'm just gonna quickly go through a few other things. But thank you guys for all of these.
Card generator.
What is it?
What was the member card generator?
Yeah. So ATD went green a few years ago. So I know they used to send out membership cards when you joined. And so now they offer the option to print one out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's also, you know, a benefit that you can kind of be like a card carrier. Okay. And then obviously on top of the recordings for, you know, the different conferences we have a ton of webcasts constantly happening. I think within the next few weeks, we have 4 or 5. And these are all available to those, you know, with that membership. So that's another kind of extra learning opportunity that you can use, which is always great. And even tapping into it for chapters. I think it's a nice supplement from what you guys are offering. And then okay, I'm gonna stop real quick. Any questions before I keep going? I can talk pretty fast sometimes.
No, I was just going to add when you were talking about that.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, that's the value of the Power membership is that, you know, at the local level, you get the networking and the connection with people and learning what's going on in your area, your county, your city.
Yeah.
But with the national membership, you're getting all kinds of learning resources on top of that. And so when I think about the value of Power membership, I think of the two of them combined and the value you get overall from both memberships.
From both.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think, you know, that community component is so important at the chapter level. And I think they really kind of just form a really nice, well-rounded like development of your own profession and what you're doing in your own work. And on top of that, we do have groups that you can join that cover, you know, a variety of topics. I know we have one for chapter leaders that chapter leaders can join. You can, you know, post things, questions, connect with people that you're, you know, that you might have the same interest in. So this is also something that, while, you know, that community at the chapter is so important, you know, you can connect with people all over the world in the talent development community. So I think that is another source on the website that is great. And then moving on to the job aids that I had talked about earlier, these are all available with that membership. And so, you know, there's tricks to remembering names and sessions, and there's techniques and agendas that you can pull. Just little things that we put together that you can use in your own work. And I think that's something people don't always realize is there. So that's one thing I really want to emphasize is that's a great resource to use.
I may need to look at that trick to remember the names. I'm so bad at that.
Yeah. Oh, I know, me too. Yeah. And then I don't want to take up too much time. There's so much on here, so I'm trying to do like a quick overview for everyone. But we do have the resource center that's available by topic. So again, another kind of easy way to segment what you're looking for. And then the thing keeps popping up, so it's like, okay. Yep. And then I just wanted to point out a lot of the virtual training that we've been putting together, a lot of online, demand courses, workshops, lots of new articles coming up, as I'm sure we're going to be seeing a lot within the next year, probably, as we're all shifting over. But there's so much. And, if you ever have questions, you can reach out to me and I can get you connected. We have a great customer care team, great content team, and great membership team. So yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions. I would really love to hear from you guys, like what you get out of, your ATD membership. And I'll stop sharing.
Well, I can certainly tell you what I've gotten out of mine, because I have had an ATD membership. I won't tell you how long, a long time.
Yeah.
Long before I moved to San Diego, which was in 2000. It's been a long time since I've been a member, and I've been a consistent member. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking about the power membership, so that came to mind. But one of the things that I look at every single year is the state of the industry report. Mm-hmm. And I also use that with my training and development at UCSD Extension. So I also use that in that particular course. It not only gives them a overview of the industry, but it introduces people to ATD. I mean, I have had people who work in the training and development industry who have never heard of ATD before, until I brought it to their attention. So yeah. I think the report's great. You can see, it helps you see trends nationally. You see what the best practices are. So I really like that component. It's a significant part of what I get from that membership. Mm-hmm. Discount on events. When I worked at Bose back on the East Coast, I used to take my entire team to the international event. So that we would do that as a team, and we would debrief every day about what we learned and share that with each other. So that has been a great opportunity too. Never mind all the resources, even before the time where there was all sorts of virtual resources. You had all the paper and the books that were very, very helpful. And I think last is the case studies, which I didn't even know you had until I started looking for them, because I was looking for case studies to use, and I've been using them consistently because they provide a good platform for thinking about how you might approach different learning and development themes. So I've gotten a lot out of my membership.
Yeah, that's so great to hear. Yeah, I think there's so much on there that so many different sectors can use, and so many different areas too. And depending on where you are in your career, there's always something available for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I'll share what I've gotten out of my power membership. So I am relatively new to the L&D industry, and ATD was my first exposure, like real exposure to this being a industry. Because I've worked for Hyatt for 14 years, and I grew up in HR. And so training was just kind of like a function within HR. So I was like a facilitator, right? But not really. I didn't understand the distinction and what an L&D professional was. And it was when I stepped into this role that I have, and somebody recommended, hey, you should check out ATD. And it happened to be when the conference was here in San Diego, the international conference. So I just went to the expo. I didn't go to the full conference, but just by going through the expo and realizing how this is a world in and of its own,
Yeah.
that's how I was able to decide to become an L&D professional. I didn't just want to be a trainer within the HR function. I wanted to be an L&D professional. So I was like, okay, this is what I need to become a part of, to learn what that means, to understand what that looks like, and the different, competencies, capabilities, and everything within. So so it helped me find, it's helping me still, because I'm still seeking that in direction in my career, in what I want to focus on. And I'm like a sponge. All I do is learn. So the webcasts are huge for me.
Yeah.
The TD magazine, and then the state of industry report and the white papers, because those are the ones that are helping me learn about the industry in general. So, and I go to the conference every year, and so I like the conference discount, even though my company is the one who pays for it, but I'm like, oh, it's worth it for the conference discount. So
yeah, and those chapter group discounts are always really helpful.
Yeah, so I think for me, just in like defining and finding, figuring out my career as an L&D professional, ATD it provides me with tremendous resources and direction.
Yeah, I mean, I love hearing that, because the work that we're putting in is really helping you guys, and that makes me, feel really good about what we're doing, right? Mm-hmm. And I know, we also offer like, job boards for anyone who might be looking, as well as some recommendations for programs. I think if let's say you wanted to go into this area, like, here's a program that would help. So, I think in any stage of what your career development is, you're going to find something that resonates with you.
Yeah, I love to look at the job board. I mean, I'm not looking, looking to relocate.
You want to see what's going on.
I'll look, because I want to see, what kind of opportunities are out there, what's going on, and what's happening, and what's different, and what's changing, and what industries that are in. So I won't spend a lot of time on it, but I do look at it every time I get it.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I mean, I think it shows, what is changing in the industry, and what, employers are looking for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I have a quick question in regards to ATD and the resources it offers. And I thought great descriptions of learning and development. Gwen, I really like the description between a trainer in HR and L&D function. That's a really great indicator. I was wondering on the area of organizational development, looking at those particular resources, as well as leadership development, and leadership succession planning, management development in those arenas. I was wondering if there's much there as well.
Yeah, definitely. There's so much out there, I think, on all of that. And, I think getting those, going in and looking and searching around, but I can also contact our content team and get kind of a good list of resources for you. And I would also recommend looking at the actual resource center. Because we have, a resource center for management. We have it for coaching and learning technology. So it's definitely there. And I think, the leadership development part is so important as well. So there definitely are. And I can kind of go in and get those for you as well, just so you don't have to do the heavy lifting.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
And then also, could you speak a little bit to, and I just want to make sure I get these initials right. It's the CPLP?
cptd.
Yes.
Yes.
And to speak to that, what the value of that is at this point, what it brings to someone that's in the industry.
Mm-hmm. Sure. So we recently have completely redone the APTD, CPTD certification exams. So it's very new. It just changed names April 1st. And so CPTD is, you're being tested on that capability model, which is, that model of everything that the industry encompasses. Right. So when you get that certification, you are, you know, that expert in all of those capabilities, and you can take those to your jobs. It's very highly regarded in the industry. So it's definitely something I would recommend checking out, as well as they're doing a test launch of the new exam, because they've also changed the exams. It used to be 2 parts, and now it's only 1, which is, I've heard, very nice from people who used to take both. So that is something I would really look into, including maybe being a part of that testing phase. And they've also brought out a new, what they call Book of Knowledge, which is kind of that study part of it. So definitely it's really based on that capability model.
I will share that I've been looking into it to take the cptd and be part of the testing group, and so you have to have 5 years experience and like 60 hours of educational hours.
Yeah.
And it's $900, but you get a free retake with it. So that's really good, that you get a free retake and you're part of the pilot group.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and I would say
Yeah.
it's definitely for those who are pretty deep in their career and kind of ready to be, you know, that all-encompassing capability person within their own career.
Yeah,
Right?
and that capability model is pretty robust. I mean, it covers a lot of different
yeah.
areas that you need to have knowledge in and expertise in and practical experience in order to really be a well-rounded learning and development professional.
Yeah. We plan to, one of these coffees and conversation, we want to have specifically about the cptd and the capability model, because it's like it's such an important, I think, topic for as professionals for us to kind of learn about.
Yeah, if we have enough interest in it, then we can put together a study group, and we can, you know, kind of sponsor that and bring people together who are interested in it. Yes, you can do things at the local level to support it.
Yeah, and let me know. Our certification team is fantastic. So if you guys have that conversation, I'm sure Morgan, the director, would be happy to join.
Yeah,
great.
The capability model, I thought I have looked at a couple of times, and I've really thought it's very, because of its robustness and its comprehensiveness, very helpful in looking at all of the pieces of the industry. And I think, I mean, it goes into a bit into organizational development. I think it, you know, seeps into that, some of those skills that you need when you walk into an organization. And
yeah, definitely.
So thanks for the information.
Yeah, thanks for asking.
One last question: the education hours. So the experience, but then the education hours. How do you log those education hours?
So there are some pre-approved courses, and you can log them both with any like classes you're taking. There's a sheet I believe you fill out, but there are some chapter programming that does count. So some of them are pre-approved, and it depends on if the chapter's gone through that process. And others, you know, I would check first before logging those, just to be sure. And again, certification is great. They'll walk you through it and check for you.
Yeah, I think from what I saw, I haven't completely looked into the educational hours, but there were, like, if you had certain certificates that you'd completed with CPTD within, I think, the last couple years, those hours would count. So things like that. And I was looking, I think some webcasts counted or something. I don't recall it all, but there's courses that counted towards it. So.
I see. And then to be able to actually take the test, correct? Those are the things that you needed to, gotcha.
Yeah, you have to apply to take the test.
Yeah. And you have to, so I sat in on the webcast about the CPTD, and they said that you have to have the 60 hours completed when you apply. So it's not like, oh, it'll be done by the time I take the test. No, when you apply, everything has to already be completed.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Sure.
And we did a webcast for chapters on the new APTD, CPTD, which is on the Chapter Leader Connection site. So I would definitely check that out and see. It's on our chapter webcast page, and I can probably get it and put it in the chat for you.
Great.
Check.
Any other questions? It's a conversation, so we can always come back to it.
Yeah.
If not, let's, Mem J, if you want to talk about.
Actually, before I jump in, I'd love to have Lauren just talk very briefly about how, from the ATD perspective, how do they see their different chapters? How many chapters are there? You know, kind of what is the process of becoming a chapter? And then I can talk about San Diego.
Sure. So ATD has over 100 chapters right now, and we normally, so we have our chapter services team, which I'm on. We have Erin, who's the senior manager. She's also overseeing the Eastern area chapters right now. And then we have Samantha Herman, which you may have met or seen before. She used to be the Western area CRM, and she's now the project manager. And we actually just acquired Keisha, who's our coordinator, which we're really thankful for. And so to become a chapter, it's quite a process. You do need to have 50 people signed on, ready to become a chapter, which always sounds like a lot, but you know, in order to have that chapter, there needs to be that talent development community. And then we do have the joint membership requirement, which is in the charter. And that's really just so, you know, we are giving that branding and the programming and the resources for chapters. So it really is just that requirement, right? And we want to be able to offer everything that we have for you as well as the chapter does. And they also have to complete CARE, which is the chapter affiliation requirements, as I'm sure Gwen and MJ know a lot about. They fill it out every year, and it's kind of all encompassing of what it takes to run a chapter. As a chapter, you are your own entity, you know, you file your own taxes, you're doing your own finances and programming. So, you know, it's a way for us to kind of, you know, make sure everything's going well, but also that, you know, you're servicing your area, like you said in that charter.
Right. Thanks, Lauren.
Yeah.
That's helpful. Because I think sometimes I talk to people, they don't realize that, you know, we run our chapter like a business.
Yeah.
You know, we have a board of directors and we file our taxes every year, and we have an office manager who manages our books and, you know, looks at our P&L every month and manages the balance sheet and does all of those things. So that's, you know, a perspective to understand, I think, especially if you're getting into this field and you want to develop within that field. It's a great opportunity to get more business experience, because you don't always have that opportunity to get that business experience in a small business without actually owning a small business. So what I thought I would do is something similar to what Lauren did. I would kind of walk through our website, talk about the different things that are there, and how we actually run our business. So let me see. Hopefully it's still there. Okay, so our website is managed by Tom, who is our technical director, and you can find just about everything you need from a membership perspective on here. When you become a member, you will see this drop down as well. So if you're not a member or you're not logged in to the website with your membership, you will not see this particular section right here. But we'll talk about that later. What I do want to do is just talk about us. So about 2 years ago, the board and I invited one of our past presidents, Nancy McMonagle, to join us so that we could really establish a very clear vision, mission, and values for our chapter. So that's kind of where we were starting, because we were looking at really needing to, I won't say relaunch, but we needed to kind of pull together and get back to basics on what was important to our chapter, so that we had a framework to start developing additional programs and events that would be meaningful to our chapters, chapter members, as well as being able to provide content that would be in alignment with our mission and our values. So we're all about advancing human performance. I mean, that is our vision. How we do that will change depending upon the situation. Look at us right now. Who would know that every single one of our events would be virtual just 3 months ago? And so our mission is to be a leading resource for inspiring, growing, and connecting talent and organizational development professionals. We do want to grow that arm of OD. The OD network chapter that was here in San Diego when they dissolved, we were the beneficiary of some of their members as well as their remaining finances. So it's why we try to sponsor an OD SIG, which is a special interest group, and try to move that part of what we do forward. So we're still working on trying to figure out what's the best way to approach that. And our values around integrity, diversity, excellence, being adaptive, which we're demonstrating as we speak, and leadership, because we do believe that we act in providing that leadership to our members, to our peers, to our community, and to the organization. So the other thing about our chapter is that, that some people don't realize is that we are almost 100% volunteer run. So we have a paid position, which is our office manager, Beth. Beth answers all the emails that go to office@tdsandiego.org. She manages our book. She reconciles our P&L. She is working with the banks and our financial institution that we have some investment in. And so she is really that person that answers the phone in the mail, and she is a very important part of our business. But other than that, Jackie, who is our events manager, she is also paid for some of the work that she does. But other than that, every single thing that gets done in this chapter gets done through volunteers. And if it wasn't for our board volunteers, none of this would be possible. So I want to just pause for a moment and talk about what our board structure looks like. So essentially, we have a president track. So a president track consists of these three people here right now. So Bridget is our president-elect. She will be president next year in 2021. I will become past president. And Annette, who has been with us for so many years, she did more than her 1 year as president. She has relocated to Las Vegas and has been joining us virtually ever since. She moved to Las Vegas, I think in 2018, and she hasn't dropped us. She's been there all the time, so we appreciate Annette so much. So this track is really a 3-year track. You are president-elect, president, then past president. And those roles change. The care document or process that Lauren was talking about, I did that when I was president-elect. Bridget did it last year when she was president-elect, and whoever we have for our president-elect going into next year will more than likely take on those same responsibilities. So the president's track is a really important component. We have our CFO, Norma. So Norma is actually paying double duty. She was our secretary for 2 years. She wanted to try something new, so she is currently our CFO, but we don't have a secretary at the moment, so she is acting in that role as best she can. Sharon, who has been our marketing director for the past 2 years, she will be coming off the board in 2021. So we'll be certainly looking for a director of marketing, but she has done such a great job with our social media. If you had seen our social media before she started, it would look night and day to what it is today. She has got a great team of people that she works with. And Gwen, I can't say enough about Gwen. She has really jumped in during this whole COVID crisis and worked at putting our programs, coming up with new programs just like this to make available to our members. So yay for Gwen. Everybody should be thankful for Gwen. I know I am. And then this is Tom, our technology director. Everything that has anything to do with this website, Tom is our man that we go to. And will expand his role. He's been very busy because of the situation, because we need to get everything adjusted up on the website. Let's see, what else can I tell? We won't talk about membership yet. Getting involved, volunteering is a really important part of this because we're run by volunteers, but I know we're going to have a separate session in June about volunteering and board membership, so I don't want to get into that, but I will show you our events calendar. This is where you can find all of our events here locally, as well as the ATD events. So you'll see here our local events. We have a sponsor event right here at 9 o'clock. This was in May, but Alliant University is one of our partners. And so they were doing a virtual conference. And so they invited our members to their virtual conference. That's no charge, it's part of your membership. And then we have some of the ATD national certificate programs listed. Typically, we only list the ones that are in the San Diego area, but since you can go, they're all virtual now, you can go to any of them. We have been trying to keep up with putting them on our calendar as well so that you can see what you have available to you. So I would definitely go to this particular calendar view. I find is the easiest way to look at what we have going on and when we have them going on. Chapter meetings are also on our events page because we consider that an event as well. Our Mentor Protege program, that is in its 21st year. And so that'll be starting up actually a week from tomorrow with their kickoff session. We have a very small group this year. I think with all of the situations, some people are looking at taking advantage of the time to maybe launch a new career in L&D or to take advantage of the time they may have available if they're not working. And we have the opposite. We have people that are absolutely crazy trying to move all of their programs to virtual programs, and there's not a lot of time. And we need to do our mentor program this year, at least start out with it being virtual. So it's going to have a very different look and feel. So we didn't get as much interest in it as we usually do. But we do have, I think, 3 or 4 pairs that will be launching next Saturday. So we are still excited to be able to move that forward. It's just going to look a little bit different.
Quick question. On that,
yeah, go ahead.
So I applied, but I don't know. I'm hoping that I think I hit it right on the deadline. So I don't know.
Yes, you did. I saw it.
Oh, I'm in there. Okay, cool.
Yeah, you're good. We
right,
just reviewed them on Monday. That's probably why you haven't heard anything back yet.
Okay.
So they're still coordinating. So yes, I remember seeing your name.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep, no problem. Let's see, professional mixers. They will also be part of here. We're doing a professional mixer in the afternoon every other week, correct? When? Every other week for the mixer? Yes, that's what I thought. And we're starting to find people in our mixer. That's okay. We're finding people at our mixers from all over. We have folks from the East Coast, I remember at one of them, from Orange County. So it's actually been great to have people at our mixers that are more than just San Diego. So it's been interesting to see how that has played out. So that's a great opportunity to talk to other members. And yes, we do have an organizational development SIG. It was ready to kick off for this year when all of this happened. So more to come on that when we get there. If you're interested at all in getting involved in that SIG, please reach out to me and I can connect you to our member who's leading that effort.
MJ, could you tell us what is a SIG?
A SIG is a special interest group. So a special interest group can be led by any of our members. It doesn't need to be a board member. It's usually directed by the programs director, but in terms of the leader, it can be anyone who's a member. And it's exactly what it says. It's a group of people that have a special interest. So if we had a group of people that were interested in getting their certification, your cptd, then we could create a special interest group with one of those folks who have agreed to lead that group and help them with, putting events together, getting them scheduled, finding a location once we're able to do a location, getting things up on the website, getting them on social media. The board would help support it, but it would be led by a member. So we've had technology SIGs in the past. We have had a training management SIG in the past. The OD one has popped up a couple times because I do think there's interest. It's often difficult just to keep the momentum going. Right. So it's great if you have a group of people that are willing to share in that leadership role. But that's what a SIG is. So they tend to come and go.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. We do have a resource library. This resource library is different things that we have available for our members. So that's evolving as well. And in the members only section, if you become a member, you have access to contact information for all of our members. So if you're looking for somebody to connect with, you might have connected with them at an event and you wanted to find their contact information, you can do that here. Our bylaws and our minutes, our board meeting minutes are posted, and the bylaws of how we run our business is here. The CPLP resources, that needs to be updated to the new model, but we'll get that done. And this one here, this is similar to what Lauren was talking about, the EBSCO benefit. So they are sponsoring us as well. And so if you don't have an ATD membership, you can use this for a 1-year free subscription to EBSCO and their Excel 5 subscription. So it's free for a year. I suggest you take advantage of it. If you're looking for videos and business books and audio summaries, that would be helpful for you. I will stop there and just say, is there any questions? There's a lot to be found on the front page, including all of our sponsors. We have our feature member we try to do at least every couple months. We have a YouTube channel. We have a LinkedIn page. We have a Facebook page.
Yeah, this all looks awesome. I'm super new to this. I mean, I got the membership a couple months ago, but completely forgot about it until like last week. So I mean, my boss, I mentioned I was at the mixer, I think it was last week. I'm new to the industry, like since January. So my boss recommended it, and she got a lot out of it when she was part of it. But yeah, I'm really excited. I haven't even looked through the website really. So I think this sparked my interest in that. So that'll
good. Yeah. So take a look at this. Take a look at the ATD, it is td.org. And you can get a really good view of all the resources that would be available to you.
Awesome. Yeah, it looks great.
I would love to hear, everyone's favorite part of being in the chapter. Like, what do you guys get most from the chapter experience? I know, Joseph, you're slightly newer, so you might not have that yet. But
yeah, I was like, yeah. I mean,
you're like, I don't know yet.
What else can I say?
I'm here.
I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah, we'll follow up
next year. Yeah, he'll be all of it.
I can share. I've been a member in and out before and participated in the mentor protege program and such. What I have found with the industry, because I've worked with different folks offline in different projects for our work and such, is that it's a very generous community. It's you really, as people start businesses, they really reach out to say, how can I help you? How do we collaborate more? You don't really get a sense of competition between people, because so many people have launched out of ATD into their own businesses. And
Yeah, a lot.
They really have. It's true. That's I don't know if that's just chapters across the nation or if that's specific with San Diego, but it really, I mean, that's a great tribute to San Diego ATD. And then they just tend to lend a hand, you know, and even if you just want to get on a call with somebody or meet up for lunch, they're so willing to share their professional insights, whether it be just as a personal professional in their own business, or what their experience has been when they have worked in companies. And you all of a sudden, it's very comfortable, because all of a sudden you're speaking the same language. Because sometimes when you go into your organization, people have such a varying degree of what learning and development is. Some think it's training, some think it's succession planning, but when you sit with somebody and you can speak the language, it's very supportive. So really, that's been for me a big benefit of ATD San Diego.
Yeah, I would agree with that 100%. I know several people who have gotten job opportunities through connecting with different people, and absolutely, it's a group. I have got great friends from this that I will have forever. And I have been a member of the San Diego chapter. I was trying to think earlier how long. I'm going to say the early 2000s I joined this chapter. And I was a very passive member when I first started. I mean, I did nothing but go to an occasional chapter meeting every now and then. I was very disconnected from the San Diego community because I worked in San Diego, but I technically worked for a company in Massachusetts. So everything kind of revolved around them, and I was traveling back there, and I just wanted to get more connected to San Diego. And so the more that I attended the chapter meetings, then I started to volunteer at the chapter events. And then we had a president-elect take me out for happy hour, and next thing I know, I was on the board. But, you know, as much as, you know, that push had to come, I have held several different board positions, and I don't regret any of them. I have learned so much through all of them. I've worked with some great people, and will continue to stay involved as much as I can, even after my past presidency is over.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I would really, that's the other thing too, I've just seen, is just to encourage people to, especially being new to the chapter, new to, you know, the industry, is to really reach out to the people around. Even, I would not even hesitate, you know, you see someone, maybe you've seen them at a mixer, or you've, you know, saw their name pop up, you know, send them an email and just reach out there. People are more than happy to take a few minutes, or, you know, grab, you know, an hour and chat with you. So, yeah, it's a great resource.
Yeah, very much. Yep.
I'm going to pretty much say the same thing as Melissa and MJ. I mean, the community is just so generous. It really is. And when I started, I met people at a couple chapter meetings, and I'm telling you, I was so new. I was like, what's instructional design? Like, what's organizational change management? Like, how are these like different categories, different areas? And I can't tell you how many people, you know, that have been a part of the chapter and such were like, hey, how can I help you? I scheduled calls with them, and it was from one person that I had a call with, and he, like, all these people become mentors within the industry. You know, I know through the mentor protege program, which I haven't done yet. That's a formal kind of mentor, but everybody else, everyone's always willing to help. And one person that I spoke with, he is the one that he said, listen, you need to be an active member, because that's how you're going to learn and absorb the most. He goes, and I suggest that you take on a board position that is going to help you for where you are in your career. So he said, if you're trying to learn content, if you're trying to understand what it is that we do, programs is a good one for you. So he said, you know, if you're a consultant, you're looking to expand your network and such, maybe help in the membership realm. He goes, you have to think about it from the sense of, how is this going to help in my career and my knowledge, my professional expertise. So I can't tell you how much I've learned just from doing programs, because I will have speakers who are like, hey, I want to present on e-learning. And I'm like, oh, that's separate. What is e-learning? So I'm learning along with putting programs together. So it's a win-win. and it doesn't stop. So I think it's just a matter of, I think there's a lot of benefits from the national membership to the local chapter membership.
Yeah, and volunteering at the chapter level, I'm sure it's so rewarding, and you get to meet other chapter leaders from all over the country, especially during the ATD Chapter Leader Conference, which happens every October. But then there are opportunities to volunteer at the national level with the ALC PAC, who help plan that, and the Chapter Recognition Committee, who deal with deciding chapter of the month and sorting through our SOSs, which is the best practices, that sharing our successes. So there's a multitude of ways to get involved both locally and nationally.
That's really great.
Very good. Does anyone have any other questions or comments? Anything we didn't cover?
I'll just say one last thing is I've really appreciated the virtual opportunities and how quickly you guys pivoted and made these available. In some ways, it made ATD more accessible to me just because of my schedule, and being able to pop onto a virtual meeting or a happy hour really has ease of access has been great. So thank you for that very much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the feedback. We've heard that, and I think it's also a clear indicator of when we are able to go back to in-person is to maintain our virtual offerings.
Yeah.
Because it's the way that we live now, right? We need
and there's no traffic.
Yeah. There's no traffic.
I just have to make it from the kitchen to the office. And
that's it. So it's great.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Well, thank you all for
attending.
attending. Yeah, I'm so glad you came, everybody.
Thank you. This was great.
Yeah, thank you all.
Well, I hope everyone has a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. And if you go out to a restaurant and sit in the restaurant, please enjoy.
I'm so excited. I'm going to do that.
That is a luxury right now, and
Yeah.
So please enjoy.
All right.
Yeah,
thank you, Gwen,
thanks
so much for
everyone.
this. Thank you, Lauren, for coming.
Thank you.
And Joe and Melissa.
Have a great
Thank
weekend.
you. Good
All
to meet
right,
you.
great. Have a
Yeah.
great weekend.